Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Afterthought, where we talk all things mental health and real life. My name is Roxanne Francis, and I am the face behind Francis Psychotherapy. And tonight we're talking about facing the funky feelings. Have you ever found yourself in a slump, down and out, licking your wounds, wondering about what's going to happen, having a bit of a pity party? Well, last night and today, I found myself right there, right down in the dumps, trying to figure out my life. And I find it really interesting because last week, this time, I was planning myself a little soiree because my birthday was on Friday. And I had a little get together in my backyard on Friday night, and I was feeling just great. I had not a care in the world, and I was really in celebration mode. I was like, I made it another trip around the sun, and I am just gonna celebrate my life. Because in the midst of COVID-19, in the midst of financial uncertainty, there are so many things that are uncertain, right? Kids are going back to school and no one knows if they're gonna get sick, right? The numbers of COVID-19, people who have contracted COVID-19, those numbers are going up. Hi, Hen, come on through. Hello, everyone. So, we were just talking about, I was just thinking about how uncertain life is and how we can, how you never know what's going to happen. And so I decided, listen, it's my birthday and I am going to celebrate. And I was so thankful that I was able to have a couple of my closest friends over and we had some food and we shared some laughs. But then as the weekend passed and the week wore on, I just started to get into this slump. And so let me just turn this music down because it's getting on my nerves now. I just started to get in this slump. I started thinking about all these plans that I had for my life, all these plans that I had for my career, all these things that I wanted to do, and they weren't happening. And I really just started to feel like, whoa, what's going on? How come I'm not doing this? How come I'm not doing that? And it really started to bug me. I started to feel really discouraged. So I wonder, have you guys ever felt discouraged, right? What do you do when you get discouraged? How do you cope? How do you move on when you start to feel discouraged? Throw it in the comment section and let me know what you guys think and what you guys do. But I started to feel like, man, I should just cancel all my clients. Or this morning, I was like, man, I don't want to even do Afterthought tonight. I don't want to come on here and just pretend to be happy-go-lucky and, hey, let's talk mental health and let's fix it. Truth of the matter is, guys, I might be a counselor, a psychotherapist, a therapist. Hey, Caitlin. But I get discouraged too. Listen, I am a human being. If you pinch me, I go ouch. If you cut me, I bleed. I get tired. I get hungry. I get cranky. And I just started to feel a little bit down about where things are going. Gail says, I talked to my mom or I take a break by myself. Yes. And so this morning I had to run an errand downtown Toronto. And so I saw one client in the morning and then I drove downtown and I just turn the music up and I sing. I didn't even do that. I just let my thoughts go where they're supposed to go. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, how do I get out of this slump? Well, actually, I wasn't even thinking about how do I get out of this slump. I was just thinking about how did I get here, right? How did I get to this slump? How did I feel? How did I get to the place of I don't want to show up for my clients? How did I get to the place of, I love my clients, but just even showing up for myself, right? Because every day that I get up and I show up for my clients is a day that I show up for myself. Do you know why? Because I got lucky enough to be in a profession where that I love, right? Deb says she's feeling the same way. I'm sorry you're feeling the same way, Deb. Let us know how things are going. But yeah, because I love this work, because as you can tell, I'm a bit of a chatterbox, but I'm also a good listener, and I'm very introspective, and I think I'm a bit insightful myself. And so I love helping people find the pieces to their puzzle. Love helping people find clues to their lives, helping children find their voice, helping people overcome their obstacles. And so, because it's a job that I love, when I show up for my clients, I show up for me too. You know, it also checks my box when I help people check their box. You know what I mean by that? And so, I just started to feel like, man, I'm just done. I was just like, okay, just throw in the towel for the next few days. Call me when it's over. Gail says, I think it's a summer to fall transition that it hits so fast too, it shifts our feelings. Listen, I don't know what happened, but we went from like feeling like 30 degrees outside to needing a sweater next day. And I mean like in 24 hours, summer was over. I don't know about that. Right? That one hit me hard. That's a good point, Gail. It might have to do with the weather. I don't suffer from SAD or SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. That is something where people tend to get really depressed during the winter months as the days get shorter, the nights get longer, the temperature gets colder. A lot of people struggle with serious depression during that time of year, and they come alive in the spring and the summer. I'm a summer baby myself. I'm from the tropics. I don't really suffer from seasonal affective disorder, but Gail, I don't blame you. Hey, Katie, I think that the change in the seasons might have something to do with it. All of my U.S. friends don't know what we're talking about because north of the border, it gets chilly very early in the year. And I know that winter doesn't hit for you guys maybe till like your Thanksgiving, end of November. But I know up here, it comes early. The leaves are all changing. The leaves are falling. Hind says, I think as parents, we're so worried with the transition of our kids going back to school. Yes, there are so many pieces to this, right? And so after I ran my errand downtown Toronto today, I came back to my home office and I was going through some stuff. And then I realized that a bunch of my girls, I'm in a group for entrepreneurs, and they meet every Wednesday at noon and just go over any hiccups that we might be having, and we shoot the breeze with our fearless leader, and we encourage each other. And so we were talking about it, and it was my turn to talk, and I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm just done. I don't want to do afterthought. I don't want to see no clients. I feel discouraged. And they were just very much like all of you are tonight, just really supportive. And our girl Monique was like, I'll just quote her. She said, Roxanne, give yourself some space and grace. And that phrase just stuck with me. And if you feel like you are in a rut, if you are licking your wounds, if things are not going well for you, if you have high expectations, kind of like I do, if I have this issue with these ambitious goals and plans that I always have. And for the most part in my life, all the goals that I've set for myself, I've more or less attained, right? And when I jumped into this entrepreneur world, nobody told me that it was for crazy people, right? And so things don't roll as planned all the time. And so our friend Monique was like, Roxanne, give yourself some space and grace. And I was like, yes. Guys, hashtag space and grace, and put it in your stories. Tag me, tag also Monique Bryan _co. She would love that. I think that it's just something that really resonated with me. And as Gail and Hind and everyone else is saying, there are a lot of things happening right now. It's like maybe Katie can tell us, if you're still here, you can tell us what's going on in this time of year. But the seasons are changing. Days are getting shorter in Canada. The leaves are starting to fall from the trees. We're already needing to wear a sweater. Kids are going back to school in the midst of COVID-19. The incidence of people infected with COVID-19 are rising. People are going back to work in the middle of all of this uncertainty. And yes, as I speak about that as well, listen, I'm so glad for you guys. The more I talk about this, the more I'm beginning to realize what's actually happening here. I actually went back into the office for the very first time last week. And so that's a big transition for me as well. I've been working from my home office for about 6 months. And so there's so many things that are going on. Yeah, Katie, I was saying that there must be some kind of shift in the atmosphere. And I don't know if you are detecting that with any of your clients. Katie is here and she is a spiritual healer and advisor. And I don't know if you can pick up anything that's going on. But the atmosphere is just shifting, right? I started to do a couple days in my office. Kids have gone back to school. The seasons are changing. And we're just in a season of change and of shift. And, just talking about it here is giving me more insight into probably what's happening, right? Katie says we're close to the fall equinox. Yes. And so, I do have to give myself some space. I do have to give myself some grace. Before I jumped into this entrepreneur life, I went to work at a predictable time. I had lunch at a predictable time. I came home at a predictable time, and I set my goal for the next thing. I was in one job and they weren't paying me enough and I hated it. And so I applied for something else and I got another job and it was great. And so entrepreneurship doesn't work like that. You don't just set a goal and meet it immediately. And so I have goals that I set just for my career and where I'd like for my business to go outside of seeing clients and chatting with them every day. And so I had these goals and I wrote them down and I set them and I'm looking at everything, and in the midst of all of what's going on, I'm not going to be able to meet those goals. And it really, I realized that it hit me hard, and I felt taken aback a bit, and I felt maybe discouraged that things weren't rolling the way that I had intended. And I do have to give myself some space and grace. Hey, Simone, we're talking about space and grace, giving yourself space and grace when you feel really discouraged. And so, first of all, there is, I believe he's a psychologist. His name is Dan Siegel. And he talks about when you have these feelings, he talks about naming it to tame it. You have to name it to tame it. If you can't articulate what's going on, it's hard to fix it. It's hard to heal it. And so talking about it with my group today at noon and talking about it with you guys tonight is helping me actually figure out what's going on so I can figure it out. And if I didn't take the time to sit with myself and sort of work things through, if I didn't take the time to sit and talk to my girl gang this afternoon and my crew here tonight, my thoughtful people, then maybe I wouldn't have been able to figure out what's going on. And I don't necessarily have to fix it. It isn't an issue that requires a fix. It isn't a lock that has a specific key and you turn the key in the lock and it flies open. It's not something like that. But it is something where I can recognize what it is. I can say that these are the 5 things that are impacting my mood right now. And hey, Roxanne, you're in a mood where you're feeling discouraged, but don't worry, it isn't going to last for too long. I can love on myself. I can support myself. I can say, hey, it's okay to feel like this. Feelings, it's really just data. Our emotions are data. They tell us what's going on. And maybe my mind and my thoughts are just saying to me, you just need to hold on a little bit. You just need to pull back. Hey, Visionary Hooks, thanks for coming through. Roxanne, you just need to pull back and say, you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this hump. You're going to manage these feelings. And then in a month, in 2 days, in a week, however long it takes, you're going to get back to where you feel like you're up and popping again, right? And I don't have to be up and popping every day. Yes, Simone, self-compassion. Some days it's take it easy. Some days it's slow. There may be a day when, if I'm physically not feeling well, that maybe I'll cancel my clients so that I can heal. But what I'm also feeling in this time and in this space is that it might not necessarily be the time to embark on that new project, or push for that thing for my career. What it could mean is that I just might need to just continue to put one foot in front of the other, continue to see my clients, continue to work with them, continue to play with the kids, continue to make the dinner, continue to do what I do as a wife, mother, therapist. Just continue to do the thing until the air clears, and then it's go time, right? Let's see. Hind says it helps to go through the low. Yes, it does. To feel it and just, yes, be aware. Listen, all of you are therapists. I love it. Be aware and be in the present. So this afternoon, I had a consultation with a supervisor around a kind of therapy that I do. And then I saw 2 clients, and then my kids are home from school, and I hung out with them. I did a little bit of a workout, and I had dinner with the boys, and they're off to bed right now. Hopefully they're sleeping, right? But just doing the things, just doing the day-to-day. Not every day has to be a go-getter. Not every day has to be, look, I'm in the paper. Not every day has to be, look, I'm on TV, right? Not every day has to be like that. Some days it's just the everyday. And I have to say that as I'm talking to you right now, I'm just being reminded to practice that gratitude. As I was saying at the top of the hour, that, last week, this time I was like, oh yeah, Friday, my friends are coming over and we're going to hang out. It's going to be my birthday. I am so thankful to have traveled another year around the sun. I am so thankful to be here for life breathing. Simone's like, yeah, they ain't sleeping. They might not be. I'm so thankful to have breath in my body. I'm so thankful that I'm not in a hospital bed. I'm so thankful that I don't need machines to breathe for me. I'm so thankful that my children are not in a hospital bed. I'm so thankful for these children. I am thankful that I'm no longer in a soul crushing job that I hate. Not that I didn't like my clients, but the machine of the organization that I worked for was very difficult to deal with. I'm thankful to not be there anymore. I'm thankful for all of the moves that I've been able to make in this country. I wasn't born here, as many of you know, and I'm thankful for where my life has gone since I've moved here. But it's okay to take a day where you're like, man, this is ridiculous and this sucks. It's okay. Feel the feelings. You don't need to push them away. You don't need to pretend to be fine. My smile and my laughter tonight is genuine. Last night I wasn't feeling so much so. And this afternoon I wasn't feeling so great either. But again, it was good to talk to my supporters. And so I would say that, I think it's Gail, one of you said that you talk to your mom when you're feeling discouraged. It is so important to have that person or that group of people that you can talk to when things are not flowing right. It's okay to have a pity party, but I would say don't take your bags in and unpack and move in, right? Go, have your pity party, and leave when the party is over, right? So that group of supporters, that mom that you're close to, that partner, that best friend, those people, those colleagues, those are the ones that are going to prevent you from moving into that pity zone, right? Yeah, go in, have your pity party, talk about how life sucks, and have people who can resonate with those feelings, but don't move in. That's where the problem starts, right? That's where the issue lies. So tonight, I just want to encourage you Leave when the party is over. That's it. Yes, Katie. Leave when the party is over. Um, don't sit in these feelings forever. Move your body if you can. If you have a body that is capable of moving, move it. We live in these bodies. We have these limbs. They're meant for movement. Move them. Go for a walk. If it's cold where you are, put on a sweater. If it's hot, take off the sweater. But move your body. You don't have to run around the block. If you're a runner and you're able to do that, I can't run. If you're able to do that, run around the block. I can't even run. I can't run down the street. If you see me run down the street, somebody's chasing me. Call the police. But if you can run, run. If you can walk, walk. If you can do the yoga, do the yoga. If you can dance, dance. If you can get on your bike, get on your bike. If you can, run around and play with the children, then do that. But move your body. It helps. It might seem like it's steeped in some kind of new age, whatever. It's not really. It really gets the blood flowing, and it dispenses of that anxious energy that we store in our bodies. Eat a piece of cake. Take a wine and a wine. Simone, you're cracking me up. Yes, I love it. So yeah, indulge. Sometimes we have to do these things to get ourselves out of that rut. And do what you can to get yourself in a better space. Sometimes when we're feeling sad, we don't want to connect with people. And that's okay. It's okay to be quiet and let your mind wrap around what's going on. But don't get yourself caught in that alone zone for too long. When you are sad and you're alone, the sadness can quickly turn into depression if you keep yourself alone for too long. And so sometimes it requires doing the things that make you uncomfortable to get out of that. If you're alone and you don't want to be around people, sometimes you just need to get yourself around somebody or call somebody, just so that you don't fall into that rut. So just a little tidbit there around skirting depression if you can, so that you don't fall into that trap. So that's kind of where we are for tonight, guys. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been listening to all of my junk. But listen, I'm human, and sometimes you fall into the junk funk, right? So do what you can to get yourself out of it. Get yourself a wine and a piece of cake, or move your body, or find someone you can laugh with, or call someone who will listen to why this is awful for you. And know that it will not last forever. Life is cyclical. There's absolutely nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that you are going through. Hey, Azetta, I'm just actually wrapping up. There's nothing that you're going through that other people have not been through before, even though it feels brand new for you. It might be new for you, but it doesn't mean that it's brand new. I'm glad that you guys can relate to what this is all about. And this is why I do these talks. Yes, I'm a therapist, and there are amazing people out there. There are a couple of them on here tonight, Caitlin, Gail, Simone, who are on here who will talk to you about what it is like to have mental health issues and the things that you need to do to get out of that. And I will talk about that as well. But often I talk about how it plays out in just everyday life, because that's how everyday life is. Some days you're on the hill and other days you're in the valley. And last night, let me tell you, I was in the valley. This morning, this afternoon, I was in a valley. Right now, talking to you guys, getting your feedback, feeling your energy, I feel like I'm on the up and up. I'm getting up there. I'm on the mountainside. I'm getting to the top of the hill. So I just want to thank you for giving me your space and your grace. As the phrase for tonight is space and grace. When you're feeling down and out, when you're feeling like you're in the funk, when your work is getting you sad, I'm sorry that you're in the valley too. I want you to watch it. Get yourself around some people who can relate to what's going on, who will encourage you out of that valley, and give yourself some space and grace. The one thing that I will repeat for tonight is that, as many of you mentioned, you guys really helped me do this afterthought tonight, is that there are a lot of things happening during this season, right? Kids are going back to school in the midst of COVID-19, whether or not they're in school or online. If they're in school, you're worrying about them getting sick. If it's online, then you're worrying about teaching them, right? You have your own business to run, or you have work to go to. The seasons are changing. If you're not a winter baby, then fall is just reminding you that the cold is on its way. What else is happening? There are all kinds of new things that are happening during this time. And, people are getting, COVID-19 is on the upsurge again in Canada. People are talking about a second wave coming. No one knows what's happening. There's still a lot of financial uncertainty. Life is changing. And I actually do have to remind myself that we're still in the midst of a pandemic. COVID-19 isn't over. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. So let's give ourselves some space and grace so we can do this life. It is not a race. The only person that you're in a race with is with yourself. Don't need to look to the right or to the left what the other person's doing. You just keep focusing on what it is that you're doing. And sometimes we're in a season where we're not reaching for the next big thing. Sometimes the season that we're in is just putting one foot in front of the other. And I feel like that's kind of the season that I'm in right now. Putting one foot in front of the other so that I can make sure that all the other things in my life are not sort of, falling apart. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I am going to let you guys go. It is just about 8:30. I want to thank you for being a part of Afterthought. I want to thank you for walking on this journey with me. You guys are all amazing and wonderful and lovely. And I am so blessed to have this space, this little community that we're creating. It's really sacred to me. Thank you so much. Tag me in your stories, Space and Grace. Let's see if we can fill up the airwaves with that. You guys take care. Take care of your mind. You only have Johnny here for Afterthought next Wednesday at 8. Cheers.